Well, commemorations have been held in Canberra today, marking the 75th anniversary of Australian peacekeeping operations. Joining us live now is Dr David Sutton, a senior historian at the Australian War Memorial. Appreciate your time, David. Thanks so much. Looking at the peacekeeping missions we have undertaken, some obviously are further from home than others. Where have those major operations been over the years?
Australia's taken part in more than 60 different peacekeeping operations in more than 30 countries and disputed zones. They're as far afield as places like Rwanda and Somalia and Mozambique, as well as closer to home in Timor-Leste, on Bougainville, Solomon Islands. So it really is all around the world. We even have representation of service in places in Europe, the former Yugoslavia, and even in places like Haiti and Guatemala. So it really is a global peacekeeping effort that Australia's been involved in.
I know that Australians do have a fine reputation from those many years as peacekeepers, but the record is perhaps not as well known here at home as our contributions in the theatre of war, for example. How important is it that these contributions are recognised in this way today?
It's really important that we recognise the long period of service that Australians have made in the name of peace. And yes, they aren't as well known as some of those larger conflicts that Australia's been involved in. But it's what Australians do in order to be a good global citizen as well as advance our strategic interests. So it's an important part of our service. We know that a lot of veterans of peacekeeping operations feel that their service isn't well recognised. It wasn't until 2013 that names of Australians who've died were included on the Australian War Memorial's Roll of Honour, for instance. But there is increasing recognition. There is the Anzac... Pardon? Yep.
I was just going to point out, just pick up on that point that you're making, that these peacekeeping operations, it is dangerous work. How many Australians actually have lost their lives? Where was that? How did that happen?
16 Australians have lost their life on peacekeeping operations. Those deaths have come about through a range of reasons. There was unauthorised discharges, which resulted in the death of one Australian in Somalia, Shannon Nakalani, as well as Australians who've died by their vehicles hitting landmines, plane crashes, as well as being, of course, shot in combat. So there's a range of reasons those deaths have happened. It's just a reminder that these operations are by no means easy. They're by no means something that we can take lightly, and Australians have paid the ultimate sacrifice operating on them.
So where are Australians stationed right now?
There are Australians still stationed all around the world on peacekeeping operations. We have quite a few Australians in the Middle East with the United Nations Troops Supervision Organisation, as well as the Multinational Force and Observers. But we also have peacekeepers in places like Korea and Mali as well. So it is something that's still going on and something all around the world.
Dr David Sutton joining us on that all-important 75th anniversary. Really appreciate your time. Thanks so much.